Hello everyone, welcome back to another news update. If you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you for returning. Now we are going to talk about news within the Caribbean and also international, right? So let us first talk about news in the Caribbean, specifically Jamaica. According to Jamaica Information Service, that's JIS, they published an article titled Support for Our Youth in Agriculture. And as you know, within the Caribbean, we're always pushing for our youth to be a part of agriculture. So the article is saying approximately 700 young people have received training and venture capital support through the expanded Rural Youth Economic Empowerment Program RAEP, managed by the Jamaica 4-H clubs. In addition, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries commenced providing access to arable lands for youth in agriculture. And that is also another great move, right, by the Ministry of Agriculture, because we know that we have to do succession planning, right? And we always have to have food growing. We always have to encourage um any kind of value being added right along the value added chain in agriculture. So moving on to the next news, right? So this is another article published by Jamaica Information Service. Link will also be in the description. It's titled Wide Range of Insurance Options for Farmers and Fishers. You heard me right. Insurance for farmers, right? A partnership between the government and Advantage General Insurance has provided fisherfolk and farmers, right, and farmers with access to insurance coverage for their vessels, vehicles, and accessories, right? Additionally, the AgriCare insurance plan, for which the government had collaborated with Sagicare Life Jamaica Limited, offers life and health insurance coverage to farmers and fisherfolk who are registered with the Rural Development Authority, which is RADA, and the National Fisheries Authority, NFA. So, farmers of Jamaica, this is good news, right? This is good news. I'm not sure the criteria, but once you go to your local uh, RADA office, the officers, relevant officers, will be able to tell you if you are qualified. I don't know the criteria to become qualified for this insurance plan or these insurance plans. The next news is basically coming again from Jamaica Information Service, and it's titled "Government to Launch Wheat Flour Substitution Program." Right, and I'll put the link in the description as well. Now, if you have been following my recent news, you know that, and basically, what is happening. We know that there is a global wheat issue, and you know I find that this is good, right? Let me just read a part of the article for you, right? So it's saying the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries will be launching a wheat flour substitution program to combat the global shortage of the commodity and promote healthier eating among Jamaicans, right? Portfolio Minister Honorable Colonel Charles Jr., in making the disclosure, said, with the support of the government of Cuba, we will be targeting breadfruit and cassava to create gluten-free flour as a healthy alternative to wheat, right? We should have been doing this a long time, right? Trying to because the aim is always to produce or grow, whatever we can grow in large quantities, right? That can make a great impact in terms of food security in Jamaica. I have to commend the ministry, right, of Agriculture and Fisheries for taking the initiative to really try to find um, an alternative to wheat, which, as they say, is breadfruit and cassava. But we have always been growing cassava a long time and breadfruit a long time. So, we should have been maximizing on this potential a long time. I hope this is going to be an effort that will basically transition into looking into other products or other agriculture produce that we are importing, and see where we can basically um, um, produce, right, or use alternatives locally, right? So the link of this article will be in the description, right? Now, moving away from Jamaica, right, we are looking now in Belize, and this is an article published by Loop News, right, and it's basically titled "Belize needs $5 million to stage referendum on decriminalization of marijuana." Now, I'm not sure exactly what is happening. I'll put this article in the description, but it seems that there are some issues now with the whole decriminalization of marijuana in Belize. And a part of the article is saying earlier this week, the Belize Coalition of Churches, BCC, said it will soon be putting forward its campaign after meeting the threshold for triggering a referendum on the issue of cannabis legislation that could take place in September this year. The article is saying Pastor Louise Wade, the church's spokesperson for its anti marijuana effort, said we will be putting our campaign forward as soon as the Governor General makes the writ and releases it. And we are confident that Belizeans know the damage that marijuana has done in their community and in their household. So you can find this article in the description and read it for yourself, and you'll understand what is happening in Belize with cannabis. Now, moving away from Belize, let us talk now about Guyana, and this is actually an article published by Loop News again, and it's titled "Guyana Undertaking Study of Paddy Bugs." And as you all know, Guyana is one of the Guyana is a country that produces a lot of rice, right? And the article is basically saying the Guyana Rice Development Board says it is conducting a study of paddy bugs to reduce their impact on rice cultivation here, as well as to secure the country's rice exports, specifically to the European Union market, right? A lot of European countries are rejecting rice coming from different parts of the world with pesticide residue, right, above what they term food safety limits. They are trying to reduce their use of pesticide, right, due to pesticide residues, and them wanting to protect their EU export market. Let us talk about what is happening um, on the international scene, right? So remember, in a previous news, I spoke about the giant African snail in Florida. Now it's basically in London, and this is basically an article published by Mail Online, which is Daily Mail Online, right? And it's titled "Deadly Giant 8-inch Giant African Snails Are Found Abandoned at Busy London Bus Stop." Right? So the article reads, giant deadly snails have been discovered making their way down a busy street in the middle of the UK capital. The monster-sized 8-inch African land snails were spotted roaming the pavement in London near London Bridge railway station after escaping from a cardboard box. Right? So I link this article in the description so you can basically take a read for yourself. And in Jamaica, I saw a tweet by the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, basically tweeting an awareness flyer regarding the giant African snail, right? Um, and they are basically informing the Jamaican public to be on the lookout, right? Which is very proactive of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries in Jamaica. On to the next news, right? And this article is basically published by LeMonde, right? And it's titled Mustard Shortage, an opportunity to revive the French industry, right? Mustard. So, and I link this article in the description as well, so you can take a read. So, on a caption, it's saying Canada, which supplies 80% of mustard seeds processed in France, was faced in 2021 with a major drought. So, according to the article, the problem lies in Canada, which supplies 80% of seed processed in France, right? And which was faced in 2021 with a major drought, right? A heat dome over the crops destroyed a larger part of the harvest. The French industry is scrambling to try and find seeds elsewhere at reasonable prices that will allow them to make their mustard, right? Now, as you know, there is still a looming wheat issue crisis, but I have good news, right? I have good news, right? And there's an article published by Reuters, right? Reuters.com. I'll put the link in the description. So this article by Reuters is basically titled Ukraine, Russia see positive signs for a grain deal. Wheat prices ease. So this, by the title of this, it seems, you know, good news, right? So let us see what the article is saying. Major global wheat exporters, Ukraine and Russia, see positive signs. Positive signs in discussions which could lead to the resumption of Ukrainian Black Sea grain exports after Wednesday's talk in Istanbul. Right? Ukraine, Turkey, and the United Nations are due to sign a deal next week aimed at resuming Ukraine's grain exports. Right? So this is good news. We'll follow up on this news to see what what will happen moving forward, right? And this article was basically published 2 days ago, July 14th. Right, so this brings us to the end of the news update. And please remember, you can find all these articles in the description. And please give the video a like, and I'll see you again in another video. Bye bye.